Hello and welcome to the Unplanned Hour. I'm your host, Brad.
And I'm Charlie. And again, we got a fantastic response to episode 2. And we actually got a couple of questions. So, Brad, can I fire them across at you?
No.
Good, because I wasn't going to anyway. End of the
Not
episode.
interested. That's it for today, guys. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, guys. 21 seconds, the unplanned minute.
No, that's good, mate. That's good. I'm glad we had the interactions. I've had a few messages myself with people asking stuff, but what I've said is we're going to keep a little compilation of them and put them out into other episodes. So
definitely, mate.
Yeah, man. Shout away with the ones that you've got.
So here we go. I will start with Mitchell. And Mitchell wants to know, as you're both from Nottingham, do you both support Forest?
Ooh,
and I'll leave
controversial. Controversial on that, Mitchell. Shout out you first and foremost. Thanks for listening. No, I'm not. I'm actually a Derby fan. You know, boo. I can hear you all booing right now. Yeah, I'm a Derby fan. So obviously, yeah, growing up in Nottingham, I had a lot of funny arguments with people, but no, I'm from Chesterfield originally, moved to Nottingham later on, and obviously from family and stuff. That's how I got into watching Derby. Yeah, just that's how it is. Obviously, growing up in Nottingham, following Derby, it's a bit of a funny old one, but no, not a Forest fan over here. Hate them, can't stand them.
But what I will give you, Mitchell, is me and Brad have been to a few Derby games together, and I'm a Forest fan. And I think we even went to, it might have been a playoff match, and I went with you, and I think Cameron Jerome scored. Can you remember?
Yeah,
we went to a few, didn't we?
You went quite, because I know we had a stint, didn't we? Where, because obviously I had a season ticket and my brother did as well, but he didn't. He had a stint of not wanting to go, so pretty much most weeks then you came along, didn't you? And just came to watch the games as well. And I think with anything, I mean, as much as we are fans of our respective clubs, we're just into watching football in general. So a chance to go and watch, you're not going to say no to it. I'd go and watch Forest. I've gone and watched them in pre-season games before, so it is what it is. I'm into football, but it's just the enjoyment of going to watch the team. And like I say, Charlie's come and watched Derby with me quite a lot. And at the time when you used to come, it was when I sat next to the away fans, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had a good laugh with that, having stuff thrown at us when we were giving them some. Especially if we were good at the time when you were watching. Actually, Derby were quite good, weren't we?
Oh, they were unbelievable. They had a great team. I think we normally go back and speak about how good that Derby team was. Oh, it was insane. The quality.
Craig Bryson's and Will Hughes when he was there, or Chris Martin. It's that era of Derby was just
Johnny Russell when he was absolutely on flames down the way. What a player, like
Johnny Russell.
What a player.
I love him. Absolutely love him. So no, it was good. It was good, Mitchell. Yeah, we're rival clubs that we support, but we share the love for football.
We do. Yeah,
we watch anything we can. So yeah, Derby fan and Forest fan.
Yeah, that's that one for you, Mitchell. Now the next one is from. This question makes me laugh a little bit. It's from Tom. And Tom has said, do you remember me from Forum?
Well, are you from one of our stories with the black shirt and the greasy hair?
Tom, if that's you with the black shirt and greasy hair, I promise we didn't mean anything by it. We just remember your body odour.
Oh, shout out you, Tom. Anyway, no,
I can't remember it.
Without looking on your socials, mate, if you've got any photos, I mean, unless it's a certain Tom that lived on the same street as me, who used to come out with us, it could well be. So shout out you if that's you that's messaged, because
Well, believe it or not, there was no profile picture, so it's probably a robot, or it probably was the smelly man from the club.
Yeah, we'll go with Stinky Tom then. Shout out you, Stinky Tom.
Yeah.
Keep liking and sharing, mate, yeah?
Yeah, keep going, Tom. Let your mates know as well, because I know there's a big group.
No, shout out, Tom. I don't know. Without seeing you, mate, I wouldn't be able to know whether we know you or not, but shout out you for messaging in, and thanks for the support, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Tom, and thank you, Mitchell, for those questions. Keep the questions coming, and we'll answer them honestly like we just have there, but we won't be as brutal if we know who you are.
No promises.
No, but if we do know who you are and we have something on you, then you probably won't listen to this podcast again.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, mate, one thing I don't know if you've seen much of it on TV now. There's the Ballers League.
I have. I've seen it a couple of times.
Yeah, so I've not watched it on telly, but I've watched a lot of the clips, and it just reminds me of Power League.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Now, obviously, we referenced to it in the last episode, and it was just funny because I was literally sat in my living room, obviously scrolling through, and then clips of Ballers League was coming on, and Angry Ginger and all that lot that are obviously involved with it, and I was like, funny that we'd obviously referenced it, obviously in our last episode, and then I'm seeing them clips, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, it links it in, and it just made me think about Power League, and I was like, oh man, some absolute memories of going to Power League. Yeah, I mean, you probably know yourself,
Mate,
every Friday for Power League.
It was so good.
Times.
You remember as well as I do that first match we played. It was like if anyone's ever been to Power League, you know that like your first match as a new team, you play like what is it, like a ranking match or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, just to see where you're at. You get put against another team. They see how you play, and then they basically put you into the division that they think your level would be at.
Yes.
That's pretty much how something along them lines. From what I can remember, that's pretty much what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. So anyway, our first game, and bearing in mind the kids that we were playing, oh man, they must have been 13, 14. No, maybe a bit older than that.
Yeah,
15, 16 maybe. But bearing in mind that our team hadn't probably ran 100 meters in 5 years.
Yeah, we weren't playing football at that point.
No.
We'd stopped playing football for a good couple of years, so we were way out of sync for all of that.
Mate, they ran rings round us, didn't they, really? But we were chasing every ball, and we came to realise that was just not how you play at Power League, basically.
They were just a seasoned Power League team, weren't they? They just knew, move the ball, and obviously we were going on sort of thinking, we'll close them down and whatever, but obviously from that, because we're all sprinting after the ball, we just messed it up massively, and then we got knackered out. They absolutely panned us, but in one sense it's quite funny because then when we got ranked and put into the league that went in, I mean, we had some good matches, to be fair. We smashed most teams that we played, didn't we? With our team that we built up.
Yeah.
And trying to think who else came with us. I'm just trying to think. I know a few names off the top of my head. I'm trying to think who else came with us.
I specifically remember the match when your brother came.
Oh yeah, when Alfie came along with us.
that was a tasty game, to be fair.
It was a team full of absolute knobheads, wasn't it, that we played?
Yeah.
Just your typical mouthy lads that there was nothing that you just from the off when both teams went onto the pitch, they were just already spouting, like, mate, we've not even kicked a ball yet, and then that just set the tone of the game, didn't it? Because they were just, as soon as you got the ball, they were just trying to kick you. So it was like, right, game on. So it just turned into an absolute kick session, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. To be fair, they had one player who was half decent, and when he was all right, wasn't he? He was all right, but when we were kicking him, he was like giving it back, and he was completely fine. Really, it was just the other mouthy ones.
He was fair game. He was the best player on their team. He'd give as good as he could get, so he'd get stuck into you. But then when we did it back, he wasn't turning around and trying to start on you. It was part of the game. That's how we always were. You know, you play a better standard of football, and people, when they foul you, you're not just going to get up and get started on, or vice versa. You know, you just crack on with it. Obviously, you play your lower leagues. Obviously, if you've got your lower divisions, people start on yourself, don't you? From when you've played friendlies and that, you play a team that's in a lower division, and everyone just starts on everyone, and they're all hungover and they're just idiots. So you can tell who plays a better standard. Yeah, literally. And I know I started off in the lower divisions before I sort of worked my way up a little bit. I played in a few of them, and it's just horrendous. You try and play football and you can't because you've got idiots just ruining the game for you. So
this is like just going off Power League for a second. I remember a team. I can't remember, it was like Carlton or someone like that. And there was a lad played for him. He wore glasses, And he,
Colton.
and do you remember who I'm on
I
about?
know
And
exactly who you're on about.
we used to play with this lad, and I'll say his name because 100% he's not going to listen to this. Jack Hallam. And for those who know who Jack Hallam is,
Yes, Jack.
you know that he has got like, I don't think the lad's got a bad bone in his body, has he? But anyway,
No.
the lad on the team for Carlton, if you put a tackle in against him, he'd basically say he'd kidnap you, put you in the back of the car, and all of this shit.
That was his go-to, wasn't it?
That was, yeah, and obviously he wouldn't. He was just a mouthy little prick. But Jack tackled him, bless his little heart. And this lad was going to kidnap him, put him in the back of the car. And again, like I say, if you know Jack, bless his little heart, he started crying.
He did. Literally, he absolutely cacked his pants, didn't he?
He did. And I felt really sorry for the poor lad because, mate, he was harmless, wasn't he? He was just shit at football. But
yeah, he weren't very good at football. Soft lad. Just when we played a team like that, I mean, you've got to embrace it, especially when you've got players like that, because you could just wind them up. They lose their heads and they're out of the game. But he was just a soft lad, so he weren't built for playing in a rivalry match. So this lad said something to him, and whereas everyone else would be like, "Oh, shut up," and obviously all the rest of it that came along. But yeah, he just weren't built for it.
He just had a bit of a cry, but. Look, God knows what he's doing with himself now, but shout out you, Jack, if you're listening, mate.
Yeah, shout out you, Jack.
And your dad, Dean, who was the worst football manager I've ever come across in my entire life.
I really liked him.
Yeah, I bet you did. He played one way.
Yeah, training was turn up if you want and we'll just play a match. We'll do no training whatsoever. We'll just play a match and that were it.
And I'm going to start my son at right back because he's fantastic. Best player on the team by a million miles. So
literally, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, shout out you, worst manager. What are you saying?
Yeah, awful. And now we'll go back to Power League. I remember in that game where Alfie was there. There was that lad with the glasses. Alfie tackled him, knocked the glasses off his face. The poor bloke. Bearing in mind, Alfie was like way younger than all of these lads that we were playing against as well, and he flattened this poor kid.
Yeah, well, Alfie's quite, he's a big lad, and he's tall. Yeah. He's quite big built. So we just said to him, "Listen, Alfie, you're here to basically just rough people up," because he was okay at football. He weren't probably more of a rugby player than he was a football player, but for Power League it worked because we're like, listen. You just be the big solid one that just roughs everyone up that comes near you. And he just took that as literal. Like, yeah, anyone near me, I'm just going to rough them up. And he did. Literally, the lad went near him, shoulder barged him, knocked his glasses off. And
I just remember this lad picking his glasses up off the floor and just wiping the water off him. Yeah. He was only a small little build of a lad, the other kid, though, wasn't he? He wasn't a big lad. But I just remember the glasses just went...
straight off, got absolutely flattened.
Oh, bless him. That was so funny. That was
good Power League though, because I like the fact that you could pick your team name and then you could log on and then see where you were in the league position and all the stats and stuff. I did enjoy that. I thought it was good, especially when you had a prime team. Like, was it really me, you, Justin came?
Yeah.
For some of the listeners, Justin is. He does his own podcast, The Second Tier, that some of you probably know him from if you listen to that Championship podcast. He does that. He used to play Power League with us. Obviously, a decent standard of football as well. So there was us three that came on. Jordan used to come
but we used to stick him in goal just because.
Yeah, he wasn't a footballer, really, was he?
No, we didn't want him playing out. He's just there to make the numbers up.
Yeah.
And Connor and Louis.
Connor and Louis used to come.
And then we didn't really have any subs because no one liked coming off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we kept it as that, didn't we? And then if Connor or Louis or whoever couldn't come 1 week, then Alfie had come in as a basically gap fill for if someone couldn't make it 1 week or whatever. But yeah, predominantly it was say us two, Justin, Connor, Louis, Jordan would be in goal, and that team was probably pretty good for Power League, to be fair, wasn't it?
It was all right, mate, to be fair. Yeah, a little half. And we did all right, to be fair. We did all right. We weren't too bad.
Well, we were all good on the ball. Like, if Connor was playing, you say to Connor, right, you stand up top and just, if you get the ball, just shoot. That's what he was best to do.
Yeah.
Louis was your typical like winger midfielder. He was good on the ball, wasn't he? Like a
Yeah,
few tricks and
few
stuff. So
tricks.
he linked up play quite well with us. And then obviously between me, you, and Justin were more like your defensive midfielders. So we could just keep holding the ball and basically pass around in a three and then open up the space and do it that way. We worked quite well on that.
That's literally how all the games went. It was like, I passed to you, you passed to Justin, he'd give it back. And it was just like triangles for, I can't remember who we played, but one of the teams was like, are you going to like move the ball forward at all? And we were like, why do we need to?
Don't need to. If we're winning, I'm going to keep the ball. You get the ball off us. That's your job. If you want to get anything out of the game, you need to come on to us and stop us playing our game.
And then I think the last game we ever played at Power League was against that team, and they were only young lads, and we were smashing them.
Yeah.
And they stopped playing, didn't they? And we had to
They wanted to quit.
Yeah, we had to talk them back into playing the match just to beat them even worse.
You just say to them, like, lads, you've paid to play. Obviously, there's a difference in class of the teams, but you've paid, so why quit? Just carry on playing. Like, it is what it is.
Exactly, yeah. You've turned up, you paid your money, just give it your best shot. I mean, we weren't kicking lumps out of them because they were kids, but
I was going to say, because they were all right lads as well, obviously, like, slightly younger. I think they were the better standard of the group below our standard, and they'd been moved up and was just out of the depth because I think the age group, they'd sort of jumped up an age group, which they shouldn't have done really, because I think they were like bottom of the league. They were getting smashed by everyone because everyone's quite a bit older than what they were. So
yeah, that was the thing. But
no, it was good though. It was good laugh, good little routine to get when we was doing it on a Friday. Go Power League. We had a good laugh doing that, didn't we? And then like a lot of us lived around the same area, or even to be honest, people like Jordan who didn't live in our area. Most of us drove, so like Friday, go down, play Power League, and then jump in the car, straight to the pub.
Yeah.
And then, we're pretty much just
stay
at the pub for a few hours.
A few pints, didn't we? Yeah. Jeez. And whoever used to come, we used to have a lad called Tom that come on the odd occasion. Can you remember Tom?
Yes, yeah.
And we used to banter him a fair bit to the point where he stopped coming. Sorry, Tom. Sorry, mate.
He did. Yeah, he couldn't hack it in the end, could he?
No, he was a nice kid, but yeah, he couldn't. He wasn't on board with the banter, was he? So
no. So he stopped coming.
But
no, it was a good laugh, and there's a common theme with some of these.
Yeah,
you take our banter, you lose your hair.
Yeah. Most of the people that we bantered are now bald.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No. Oh man. And then, and then obviously you carry it on afterwards. I mean, sometimes you used to go and get changed. It depends. Or we'd take some like change of clothes in the car just so get straight into the pub and get on it.
Yeah.
Especially if there's football on a Friday night as well, which there often is.
It used to be brilliant, didn't it? Used to be brilliant. And we used to go into this pub when England were playing all the time. And it was always jammed when England were playing.
Good atmosphere.
It was so good. And I remember a specific occasion. A specific occasion. when someone was in the pub. I'll say his name because it doesn't really matter. Connor, you'll probably remember it anyway.
Can't believe you've named him.
I know, this episode's about you, Connor. But anyway, sorry for making you lose your hair. He was drinking a pint of dark fruits, and I think that England missed a chance. It was when we were shit at the World Cup or whenever it was. Was it Roy Hodgson? Yeah. And he was drinking a pint of dark fruits, left it on the corner of the table, and some fuckers knocked it off all over his white England shirt. And he was fucking fuming.
If you could have seen his face, honestly, it was an absolute picture. We were all crying, and he just... Oh, mate, you fuming, money.
Ruined his England shirt with his fucking beer.
The thing is, you get covered anyway. Because if England scored a goal in that pub, everyone's chucking drinks up anyway. So
it just erupted, didn't it?
It just, if you're going to put on a white shirt or something, pointless. You're coming to watch an England match or any football match at the pub when it was busy. Because same atmosphere as when we used to watch Carl Froch.
Oh man, that was complete. You couldn't even get to the bar when Carl Froch was boxing in there.
Exactly. Well, again, we're quite into our boxing, and obviously when Carl Froch was boxing, especially being from Nottingham, a lot of local support. So our pub was rammed when he was fighting. And we used to get in there, didn't we? Because it was our local. And then where the TV screen that we used to go on, so you had like a bit of a corridor for like the toilet area, and then behind that we had the TV that we used to watch in this corner bit, and we basically just got a load of tables lined up, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like obviously other people who joined us who we didn't know, but we always got a setup of tables at the front, obviously just filled with drinks, and then obviously, everyone's getting absolutely on it, and then. Same old things. You get a bit of room, don't you, when you're watching the box here, and then, Frotty's there, got someone in the corner, and everyone's just throwing punches out, aren't they?
Yeah, it was well good. What a great time that was. Jeez. And they had a bit of a makeover in that pub, didn't they? And then it went a bit shit.
Yeah, it weren't quite as good. I don't know. It used to be, I won't say a bit of a dive, but it was a bit dated, wasn't it, inside? But I quite liked it like that. I liked the setup. I liked it. It was good. It was like classic pub vibe. And then obviously it went a bit mainstream chainy, didn't it? So it had a complete. It looked nice. Don't get me wrong. It did look really nice, but it just the atmosphere slightly disappeared off.
Yeah, there was people coming from rougher areas, weren't they? And ruining it.
Yeah, we saw a few people were like, if they're starting to come in here, it just ruins the atmosphere a bit.
Yeah, so thankfully we didn't stay in there for too much longer after the pub had changed anyway, did we? We probably moved away, or I can't remember.
Yeah, we probably went somewhere else. But for the time when we were going there, it was good because it was, again, this was when we lived in the same area. So this pub was, I don't know, 10 minutes max from our houses. It probably more like 5, but between 5 and 10 minutes from our houses. So we both walked the same way. And then as we're getting up, Charlie turned off the first road, I turned off at the next road, and we're both back home, like dead easy. So when we're walking home afterwards, obviously all the lads jumping out the pub, going out, you'd see some states, wouldn't you, after clearing out the pub after something had gone on.
Jeez. There were some messy lads, and I always remember when we just come out the pub, and I can't remember who it was, but there used to be like a little porcelain Labrador outside the pub, didn't there?
Like a doorstop type thing.
Yeah, but it was big. It was quite heavy as well.
It was a big unit of a thing.
And I can't remember who it was, but we ended up anyway turning around. Someone was like, "Catch this!" Threw it, like completely missed where me and Brad were. Just fell and smashed on the floor.
Yeah, because we just turned and were like, what? Just watching it. Always like in slow motion, just watching this thing go nowhere near us, and then just disintegrated. Didn't it? It was
the worst throw you've ever seen, wasn't it? It was so bad. It wasn't even near us. May as well have threw it behind him.
It's just ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that was the porcelain dog gone. Thankfully, no one ever got caught for that. Well, they might have, but.
Well, yeah. I mean, we had nothing to do with that. So
no.
Master of your own downfall if you do that.
Yeah. Whoever it was, you've ruined someone's pride and joy with their little porcelain Labrador. You sicko.
Yeah. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
And if I get my hands on you, you've had it.
Do I have to contact the RSPCA?
I think you might have to. I'm not doing this anymore. Speaking of RSPCA, there is another story. We won't go into it, but it was very bad. And you'll know exactly what I mean.
Is that regarding a certain type of bird?
Yes.
That had a long neck that...
Yes.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. And whoever the stone thrower was, we know who you are. You little baldy.
You little bald prick. I hope to name you for that.
Yeah. If you don't know, you could probably guess who it was.
Yeah.
You've killed him.
He's balding. He's a little angry man. And I didn't want to ask him for a drink.
And you put fucking bacon in the microwave.
Murderer!
It was him, basically. And you know what? I'll give your number to the police because I'm sick of you.
I'm sick on it.
But anyway, yeah, that was the story of another RSPCA thing that probably should have gone ahead, but didn't because we panicked. Anyway, next story. We used to go on holiday to a place called Malta, me and Brad. If you've been, St. Julian's, what was the other place? Is it Paceville or something like that?
Never been.
You're Billy bullshitting now.
I've never been abroad.
You tell the viewers you're Billy bullshitting. I'll cut your passport.
Never been to Malta in my life. Never been. Prove it.
I'm not going anymore. You know what? I'm leaving. You know what? This is the last time we're doing this. I'm not going around this again. We're done.
Thanks for listening. Share, like, subscribe.
3 episodes, finish forever.
Cancelled. But yeah, no, Malta, I remember, mate, every year, twice a year, quite a lot of the years as well.
Yeah. And we were there for the, was it the World Cup?
I think it was.
Or was it the Euros? Oh, can't remember now. I can't remember. I reckon it was the Euros because it was. I can just remember it being European teams in the semi-final because we played Croatia and France played Belgium.
I'm trying to think. Was it 2018?
It may well have been. Yeah, it may well have been. And
which was the World Cup.
World Cup. There we go then. It was World Cup. So we were there for the World Cup, and they had like a bit of a fan zone, sort of. It was just on the waterfront, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, they created their own little fan zone bit to go and watch them. Obviously, big screen and everyone to go down and watch it. So yeah, we were like, right, cool, we'll go down and see what the crack is with it before we go out because it wasn't that far from the strip, was it? You just walk sort of away from where the strip is, and then they've done this fan zone, so you could go in there, obviously watch football, and then straight out back on the strip, getting on it. Yeah,
it was brilliant, and I always remember, and I think we probably said it to each other when we won that free kick and Trippier was going to take it. I'm sure we were like holding each other like this is going in. This is,
and then we did bracing for it, weren't we? I think we had a feeling, didn't we? Like, all right, come on, this is going in there.
And then when it went in, I've never ever experienced anything like that. That was incredible. Because there was
absolutely erupted. Didn't it?
It was, mate. It was like there was so many England fans. Like for such a small place, it was jammed.
Full of Brits, absolutely full of Brits. But even to be honest, the other teams, like the other fans for like other countries and that were there, you know what? We didn't really see any trouble.
No,
everyone was spot on, and especially like when we went back to the strip. And obviously, every bar we got, because obviously we had like obviously England flags with us, England tops on, and all sorts. So it's quite clear to see. And everybody else had like face paint on and their own flags and stuff. You know what? The atmosphere on the strip was immense.
It was.
Everybody just getting on. I honestly like one of the best nights after the football that we've had, wasn't it?
I specifically remember the Belgians being. They were dead sound, weren't they? They were like normal lads. Like, obviously they're normal lads, but they weren't dickheads. They were just sound.
That was one of them, wasn't it, where like we go and buy a pint, someone else will be like, oh, I'll get you another pint. Yeah, sound, you stood there with 2 pints, and then someone else will go, yeah, I'm going to buy you a pint, and then you've got a third one coming over, and then the next thing your tables are just full of drinks, weren't they? Just...
Yeah, the thing is, mate, like you've not even had a sip of your first pint, and then someone's bringing you your second pint. It was just a never-ending line of drinks.
People were just chucking money at the bar, and then just drinks were just coming back and back and back. And oh, mate, absolutely rat-arsed on that night.
Oh, it was crazy. And I remember being in Big Iris.
Yes, Big Iris.
Iris, because I'm Irish. If you know. And we met those lads from Wales. Dean Jones.
Yes. You know where I'm at.
What a fucking great bloke he was. And I remember there was that little Chinese fella, and there was only like 2 urinals, and someone had shit in the urinal. And this Chinese lad walks out, and Dean Jones is going, was that you? And it was just this poor lad's like, whoa.
He was fun. He was good stuff. He was because when we first got speaking to him, we were at the bar, weren't we, ordering drinks, and like he come in, there was a big group of them, like these Welsh boys that were there, and a couple of them come over, and obviously Dean was there as well. And you sometimes think, oh, it's just the old pisshead that's coming up to talk to you, but you know what? Oh, I was dying, didn't he? Like some of the stuff he's coming out with and the way he's talking to people.
He was a great guy.
we all our groups just ended up just merging, didn't they, for being out there on a lot of the nights? Because honestly, it was just chaos, wasn't it? Just so funny. Honestly, made that holiday, didn't it?
It did, and it was the same story as when the England match was on. People just buying your drinks left, right, and centre. You didn't even have a sip of your drink, and someone had bought you another pint. Got Corona,
especially in the old what is it? The old Nordine Amrabat.
Nordine Amrabat. What a great bar, fucking club, whatever you want to call it.
You know what? We don't even know that because I think when we met the Welsh lads, it was 2019, wasn't it? I think it's the last.
It would have been the year after, yeah.
That's the last time we went to Malta. Was 2019. That's when we met them, and we'd never really been in Nordic bar, had we? Like,
no.
we'd obviously. I think we'd sat in there before. We'd gone out into the terrace bit and had a drink, like before the night really kicked off. But we've never actually gone in properly, like further in the night because we had the set places that we'd normally go, and I can remember just going in. Because it's quite busy in there, actually. Should we go in and have a look? And yeah, it ended up being like a firm favourite of ours, didn't it?
It was incredible, mate, wasn't it? And then, like the first time we went in, me and Brad made best friends with the DJ, if you can remember, shaking his hand.
Yeah, absolutely off our rock and just going up to the DJ. My God!
And he loved it as well, didn't he? And I don't know, can you remember there was a little fella in there and he bought us a shot and he wasn't part of our group. He might have been like a local bloke, and it was a horrible one. I think you drank it. I didn't. I was like, see ya.
Yes, yeah. Because we both did the sniff test, didn't we? To see what it is, and we shouldn't have done it. But I was like, right, he's got it anyway, and it was gopping.
I'm glad I didn't do it. I'm glad I passed that one on.
It was a hard drink, especially when you've been having pints all night as well, and obviously they sit heavy on you anyway, and this obviously like later on, and then he's buying these minging shots to give to you. I'm like, oh mate,
wrong. And can you remember the time where there was a Scottish pub and an Irish pub next to each other? Scottish pub was always dead, wasn't it? Not a soul in there. So me and Brad used to go into the Irish pub, and this again, it might have been when the World Cup was on, and there was that bloke in there and we were just watching the football, and he was staying in our hotel. And do you remember the bloke I'm on about?
I know who you're about to mention. Yeah.
So I don't even know how we got talking to his mate, to be honest. Like,
yeah, it was. I think it was a bit of a show off. I think he was talking to a lot of people. He sort of made his way through the pub, and then eventually came to us and was just waffling, wasn't he?
Yeah. So to basically give you a bit of context, he took an earring out of his ear, put it in my hand, and he was like, "Don't drop it." And me and Brad were like, what?
Who's this guy?
And he's like, I think he was like, yeah, that earring's like $4,000 or whatever. And we were like, so you're sitting in a shit, dingy Irish bar, staying in our fucking hotel that was about £100 for a week.
The cheapest hotel you're going to get in because it's literally just off the strip and it's full of groups that are going out drinking. So it's chaos at night time. So you're not going to go there if you've got money.
No, and then anyway, as he was going into his story more, it turns out he worked for Breitling, and he was offering to send me and Brad a couple of watches. We just have to transfer him the money.
Yeah, like that old chestnut. Oh yeah, I'll get right on that, mate. I'll send you that, and I'm sure you're going to give me them Breitling watches.
Yeah, absolute fruitcake. And then what was the other story that he told us about a fray?
He had what was it? He had an incident, didn't he? He was going to get done for murder or attempt at something quite serious, and then didn't he have the same lawyer as Wayne Rooney or something?
Yeah, that was it.
It went from like murder, attempted murder to a fray.
Yeah, because of Wayne Rooney's lawyer.
I mean, absolute waffle. What are you talking about?
What
are you talking about? How do you go from murder to a fray, you dickhead?
This guy's just sitting in a fucking probably half-a-star hotel, working for Breitling with a 4K fucking earring, just got away with attempt murder.
Yeah, I believe every word he said.
Grow up, mate.
I'm still waiting for that watch to turn up. I still believe it's coming.
Yeah, I fucking sent you 10 grand.
Do not tell me it's not. I am hanging on to hope.
Yeah. Got 20 grand off us, the bastard.
Yeah. I've had to sell my house.
I'm living in a fucking cabin now.
Yeah. I'm in a tent.
Cheeky bastard, wasn't he? Oh, it was funny.
Honestly, some of the states that you'd see out there, though. But it's good because it wasn't overdone by Brits, was it? It wasn't like
No,
your usual party places where the Brits just ruin it. It was a good, like, mixture of people.
it was.
And, oh, mate, I love it.
So do I.
2019 since we've been. 2019.
It's a long time. I bet it has. I mean, we've probably both seen videos, and it's.
Well, I've seen on. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. So, you know, if you used to get down like halfway down the strip, and you've got Havana on your left hand side, and then you obviously the building to the right. It used to have like shops and stuff in it.
Yeah,
like both up and down. That's now a club.
that's mad.
Which obviously used to be like a few shops, like a white building, wasn't it? And then around the front of the white building, I think it had a supermarket on the bottom, and then a couple of other shops. I think there might have been a bar at the top, but not like a party bar because it closed like early evening sort of type thing. Now I've seen that's got a sign on it, and that whole big bit there is now a big club because I've seen videos of people outside it, and then when they've gone in, and it's like a big
Super
old
club, like.
yeah, that they've added on now, which is different to when we went.
I can imagine there's loads of Brits there now. He's probably a bit like Magaluf.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's probably ruined it a little bit.
So I found it surprising because I looked at how busy it was on the videos and it was obviously rammed. But then I'm like, but I remember us walking out of places and just you going through the crowd. So I don't know why I thought it was
Mate, when we were there, it was like Belgians, Russians, Dutch. There was the very few Brits there.
You didn't have many. I mean, yeah, you could tell who the Italians were because they were an arse.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They doll themselves up with like obviously designer gear and stuff, and they were just arrogant. They were the ones that stood out because everybody else, from wherever you're from, everyone spoke, everyone got along, everyone was friendly. Apart from the Italians, I'm not going to say all of you, but the vast majority that came out on the strip.
Yeah, well, the ones that we've probably come across, I don't think we've ever been like, yeah, he's sound. He was. They just whether that's their culture or whatever, they're just fucking rude.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. But like Spanish were out there, they were sound. Yeah. Like I say, a lot of Eastern Europeans there, but again, good sound. Laugh. Yeah, they were and as well, they always buy you drinks. Always buy you drinks.
Yeah, you wouldn't. They wouldn't let you not have a drink in your hand.
We'd go out with like, because of obviously we knew how it was, we could go out with €50 each for the night and we'd still come back with money.
Yeah.
Because for one, when you're buying a drink, it was dirt cheap to get a drink. And we knew once you got slightly later into the evening, not even spending a penny because everyone else is just buying drinks in. It's like, yes, sound, I'll have that, I'll have that, I'll have that.
It was just crazy. The amount of, you could get like 4 vodka and pineapples. Bearing in mind the drink is just all vodka, splash of pineapple, and it was probably $5.
Yeah, $5 if that. To be honest, because we always thought like it's ridiculous. How cheap is that? So we just get them lined up, didn't we? Especially at the beginning, we were going out like we've been out, got some food and that. Then we're like, right, let's start pre-drinking, and we'd always go on like to the mid-section of the strip. Start pre-drinking because then you could go out into a terrace or a balcony or whatever and start watching everyone as they start to come on and see where people are going and whatever, and just line the drinks up and just knock them back and get yourself on a good level as people are coming out. It was decent, man.
It was, mate.
Especially when you got the 2-for-1 tickets all the time. I know they stopped doing it, didn't they? I think
they did. Yeah, I used to get them in the hotel pack. You remember? We always used to have a big wedge of them. But yeah, those 2-for-1s. I mean, when I even got back home, like months later in my wash trousers, used to pull out like a 2-for-1 at Havana or whatever. Well, how good. And then another story when we were in Malta was when we were not very well.
Oh yeah, it was absolute.
I think that was the year we went twice, thankfully.
Yeah,
they've ruined it.
The second time round was a good week. Like we more than made up for it. But this first week we went like gone out, and if you've been to Malta, you'll know that there is a lot of strip clubs, and obviously a lot of them dingy. Just avoid them and whatever. But obviously we've come out. And there's a lot of lads that we're seeing and are like saying hello to and that. And like, obviously people are going here, there and everywhere. So again, like got to this bit, obviously still seeing a few lads we know. Yeah, sound. We're going into this strip club, right? Whatever. Going down, get in, go to this booth, sit down, whatever, and then order some drinks. And to be honest, looking back, just a rookie mistake. It's the only place
completely.
where you're coming to like to where you're sitting, and then they're bringing you drinks over to you. And obviously, they've obviously spiked us because they were in there trying to get money off us. We were like, no. I'm not. You're not taking money off me. Anyway, we didn't like the vibe in there, so we're like, right, we're off anyway. We're going to go and like do our usual routine of like where we go out and stuff. And I remember like later on in the night, we saw a bloke, didn't we, in one of the other bars, like slumped in his chair, like he obviously thrown up all around him, and obviously we were like laughing, like, we won't be like that, blah blah blah. Oh, unbeknownst to us, later on, mate, when we took a downward spiral, getting back to the hotel, and like. I don't even know who woke up first. Whoever it was that woke up first out of us, let's say it was me, I'd wake up, obviously chucking up everywhere. Then I went into like a stage of panic because obviously I'm out of it because of whatever they've spiked us with, crying my eyes out, don't know where I am, pure panic. And like it'd be like Charlie like pouring cold water on my head and like say, "Oh mate, don't worry about it, you're all right, blah blah blah, cool." And then we'd go back to bed, and then I'd wake up. I could hear Charlie spewing up, crying. Same like, where am I? I don't know where I am. And I've woken up like, what's going on? What's going on? Seeing Charlie up there, right? Don't worry, mate. You're all right. You and me.
Just took it in turns.
Honestly, I don't know how neither of us fell ill at the same time, in that panic, because that would have just been chaos. But every time one of us went, because it was intermittent, you just wake up in a state of panic, crying your eyes out, spewing up, completely didn't even know anything. But luckily, every time the other person was like relatively okay to like calm you down and stuff, you go back to bed and it just flicked between us for the night, didn't it? And then obviously that just writ us off then because we tried drinking like for the other nights that we went out, but it just, I think probably part caution and then part like our stomachs were just ruined from whatever we'd got spiked with. And funny looking back because it's just like rookie mistake for a start, and then like looking when we're crying and
100% though, mate. They probably thought we were going to take that spiral when we were in the club, but for whatever reason we were like, no, we'll wait till we go to bed.
Probably lucky because at the time when we were going, like we were out every weekend drinking. So we probably got good tolerances.
We did,
So we go out and it just didn't hit us until like, I don't know. I mean, most times in Malta, you're getting back at 4, 5, 6 in the morning, aren't you? So it didn't hit us until that sort of time afterwards. And then it probably only a state of probably like, a few hours?
Yeah,
and then
probably.
we were back out for breakfast and...
Nothing, like we were completely fine. Like there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. It was so weird.
Like we weren't written off like in the days or anything. Like we had a few hours of like chaos and then, got up in the morning, was like, what has just happened?
Yeah.
Went out for breakfast and that to settle the stomach a bit and then carried on as normal. But that little section of whatever it was, oh mate, absolutely writ us off.
Horrendous, both taking in turns crying. It was just mad. It was absolutely madness.
Always watch where your drinks are getting poured. If any of you aren't experienced in your holidays, just make sure if you go anywhere, you're watching where your drinks are because you do not want to be in that. We got lucky, we were out and we were in our hotel room, but if that had spiraled in a dingy place like that, it could have been a lot worse. And obviously, again, being young lads at the time, whatever we would have been at that moment, 20, something like that. Yeah. So being young lads at the time, could have been. We could have been robbed for everything we had. Let's just
phone. Thankfully, we didn't take our wallets out, but we'd have had €100 between us, and that's enough for them at the end of the day. 2 phones, but like you say,
take anything, aren't they? Yeah, literally.
Man, you just got to be so careful. But that's the only place where they were a bit, like you said, dodgy and poured your drinks not in front of you. You were sat
everywhere else you go in there. It's pretty good, isn't it? Like
it is, If anybody's
you're not really feeling dodgy like that,
they should go, shouldn't they? And I know you'll big it up. If you want to go to Malta, go. It is so good.
It's a good. I mean, again, I don't know sort of the dynamic of people that are going in more recent years, but from our experience of going, it was just a better atmosphere. You didn't obviously you're always going to get your idiots and stuff like every place, but it was a lot less in Malta, and a lot. It's like the bounces there are less tolerable of people walking around like up and down the strip just being idiots. It's not a place that you get away with that sort of stuff. So you tend to find the atmospheres in places are a whole lot better than your standard party places where Brits just ruin it basically.
Yeah, look, I hope they haven't ruined it there because it's a great place, and it'd be a shame for it to be ruined by
it would
a certain type of British holiday maker, So
I'd love to go back and know, or if any of you have gone anytime recent and you've been down to St Julian's and been out on the strip, drop us a DM and let us know like what it's like. I'm just intrigued to know like is it still the same? What's changed on there since we've been pretty much like say 2019 was the last time. If any of you have been, like drop us a little comment, drop us a DM or something, let us know because I'm intrigued to know because unlikely that we're going to get there anytime soon probably.
Nah, that'd be the thing. When would we go? How would we go? If you're going, please invite us. We will come with you. We will get out of it and we are coming.
Yeah.
As long as you pay.
I don't know for us. Yeah. If you pay for us, then we're obliged to come. So someone book it for us.
Yeah. Just as a birthday treat or Christmas treat.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's anything different there. There wasn't really much for kids.
No.
So for us going there, it's a cultural place in the day, good parties at the night. But for us being in our positions, I don't know. I've got 2 young kids. I probably got nothing there to entertain them with.
No. There'd be nothing to go for. And even if you did, the pools at the hotels, they're on the roof. You don't want your kids running around a rooftop. Not that they're going to.
None of them.
No.
Yeah, none of them had like water parks on the hotel site either, did they? It was just like you'd have some quite nice pools for adults, but nothing for kids. Not like places where we go, where it's water parks on site and that. So
the only one where the pool is okay is where we stayed, and I wouldn't take fucking anybody to that hotel.
No. Unless you're going in a group because you're going like literally on a lads or girls holiday. Then you'd stay in that hotel, but otherwise, nah.
Not worth it, mate, is it?
Definitely not.
And if you do all-inclusive there, you're fucking not coming home.
Oh, no. The food's that cheap out there, and there's some good places. Was it the Black Bull?
Black Bull.
Just outside the hotel. If that's still there.
Great
we
place.
always used to go for breakfast there.
Yeah.
Like, good breakfast, get a fresh orange juice.
Yeah,
absolute
bacon
great
sandwich. They might have even done a full English there. I can't remember now.
We did have full English sometimes. We often got like a breakfast baguette thing, didn't we?
It was nice. That
was always a good sober upper.
And we used to go to one in I can't remember the name of the place now, but I remember the name of the cafe or bar. I know
where you're going.
Tony's
in Salima.
Oh, what a spot! If anybody's been to Tony's. If you've had the breakfast ciabatta, let us know. Mate, wasn't it the best?
It was incredible. Salima, you can walk to Salima. Obviously, catch the bus and that if you want, but nice, hot. Walk up to Salima from St Julian's. Yeah, Tony's along the front. Honestly, incredible. Breakfast ciabatta and... what was the drink?
I'm nearly sure it was a caramel coffee.
Caramel coffee, wasn't it?
But it was just
what a combo.
The caramel coffee. It was it was not one of them ones with it sickly or horrible. It was just the perfect amount of caramel. It was
good.
What a spot.
But it's annoying because with that, sorry, just to butt in.
No, go on, bud.
It was Salima where prior to COVID had just hit.
Yes,
we'd booked to go to the same hotel, hadn't we, in Salima with like our families and stuff to take them. And because I can remember us talking and saying that it's going to be good because we're in the same hotel. Mm-hmm. We'll be able to take them to Tony's and let them experience it. And then obviously COVID hit and ruined it all. So
Couldn't
we never
go.
Got to go back.
No.
Absolutely gutted.
I know. All I was going to say was about that. The thing at Tony's was you could have beans on your ciabatta. It was like, we'll plate a breakfast up and we'll just slap it on a ciabatta for you. Eat it.
But I always remember, like, when they put beans on, it wasn't like stupid amounts of juice. It was messy. It was like a good, so everything stayed in proper. It was very neat and nice.
Yeah, you'd think eating it, eggs going everywhere, you got bean juice running down your beard, but nah, it was just it was
spot
like,
on.
I couldn't actually say anything like negative about that place.
No, I loved it.
It was so
Loved
good.
it. Good place. Yeah, if you ever go, Salim was quite nice. Some good shops there. Yeah, Tony's for breakfast. It's a good place. Definitely recommend it. And if you have been, again, drop us a message. Let us know if you have been to Malta. Whether or not you've been out to the Strip, but let us know if you've been to Malta. Let us know what you think, because we've been to a lot of places across Malta. So we can have a good discussion with you about that if you drop us a message, and we'll get on about that as well.
Yeah. Speaking of places we've been to in Malta, do you want to tell everybody about the absolute mission we went on to try and find the football stadium?
Oh, mate. So we like walking, but we want to sort of veer away from like the typical touristy places. So we were like, oh, let's find somewhere on Google Maps and then we'll go and find it, have a little walk. So, yeah, cool. Obviously, we know there's the National Stadium there, which is the main one, but you can't walk to that. You have to get a bus to get over there. But we'd found this other one that was in some, again, like non-touristy bit. Yeah. So we're like, oh, we'll walk from St. Julian's. And then it was like, walk to Salima, jump on a ferry across to Valletta, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you get another ferry from Valletta across the other cove to whatever this other place would have been. It was like, basically, tourists wouldn't go there. You could tell when we were getting closer, it was like a bit more of a yard, wasn't it? For deliveries and stuff. So we got off there and we're like, right, cool, let's get walking. You know what? Some gorgeous, like, the cobbled roads with the houses going down it. And it was gorgeous walking down these places. But we'd gone out, obviously, both pale, right? Again, minimal amount of sun cream or no sun cream. I can't remember, but walking out, it took us, because we went on a right mission to get to this place, getting absolutely burnt to a crisp, getting closer to this football stadium, turn up, it's closed, been abandoned. I don't know how long it must have been abandoned for. There was nothing online to say it was, but all overgrown, all shut off, nothing, complete wasted journey to get there. And then we had to walk all the way back. And then we ended up like getting a bus from this random town, wasn't it? That again was, you could tell tourists didn't go there. It was proper like just a local place, and waiting around to get a bus to take us to the airport, because that was the day that we were leaving. And then we got to the airport, didn't we? And like we're just waiting in the queue in the airport to get on the plane, and we were just glowing, like absolutely little radioactive, didn't we? Because we were just burnt to a crisp.
I think I remember saying to you, the only bit on our bodies that was actually white was our eyelids. The rest of us was just red, wasn't it?
It was. It literally was. Man. We were gone. Just one of them. We're normally pretty good for it, but that day, just because we went on a mission, we had bags with us as well, because obviously we was going home that day, and just ruined us, didn't it? Absolutely glowing.
It was mad. So that's a bit of advice from myself and Brad. If you're going on a mission walking in Malta or anywhere hot, please put sun cream on.
Take plenty of fluids, because we struggled to find a shop at the beginning, didn't we? To actually get some drinks from when we wanted one. Take fluids, sun cream up.
Definitely. And make sure you know where you're fucking going, because if the stadium or whatever you're going to is closed, you're not going to be too happy.
Yeah. When you get to a random town where there's no taxi rank and it's just buses, and then we've got to second guess which bus takes us to the airport. Yeah, great one.
Yeah, that probably just sums our lock up, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
Sunburn, lost. Just sat on the plane, couldn't even touch each other because it was that painfully hot, like burn.
Oh, mate, honestly.
Jeez, what a time.
It was good, though. It was good. Oh, I miss it. I miss, like, reflecting back on Malta.
So do I. And I always come away from these podcasts when I go back into the house, I'm like, I really miss doing that. I'm going to go on a night out. I'm going to go and play football again. You know, I'm going to Malta now. I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, literally. But it's good to reminisce, though, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's been quite a while since we've been to these places. So to look back and just, it's nice to get back on and just remember these things.
It is. Like you said before, mate, there's going to be people that will have done the exact same thing. But they're probably, I don't know, they might be 35, 40 years old. And they'll be like, do you know what? I can remember when we went to Magaluf and it was this. And they'll be like texting the mates like, geez, can you remember this? I've just listened to these two lads on about their holidays. And, you know, and that's that's what we want. That's what we want to happen.
Yeah.
We want people we want to spark that thing in someone's mind where they're like, you know what? Yeah, these guys are like us when they were kids.
We're all for reminiscing. That's the thing. It's reminiscing. Share your stories. We've got eyes that we're obviously telling through this, and like you say, tell us your stories. Share them with us. Send us voice notes. We'll voice note you back. You know what I mean? And if we're getting that stuff, we'll be using it on episodes. I'll be like, listen, we've got these voice notes. I'm going to play them out to you. Yeah. If you've got some good stories, send it in. We'll shout you out, as we have done. We've had a couple of questions, a little bit of engagement. We're going to try and keep that going. And just guys, keep shouting it out to us. Get involved. Send us your messages. And like I say, it's been good. A lot of you obviously engaging and messaging. And obviously there's a lot of people that, for our episodes that are coming out and our little sections in between, you know, they're sharing it on the stories and putting it out there and stuff. I know I'll shout him out, Fraser, who I worked with in a couple of jobs. He's pretty much, the episodes, as soon as they're coming out, he's one of the first ones to listen. And then he's straight away promoting it on his socials. And he's not just doing the podcast either in the post that he's done when after episode 2 came out last week. He straight away, when he shared it, he then put on Hushed Club, the clothing brand as well, didn't he?
Yeah, so look, big love for that.
You know, fair play to you. Shout out Fraser, because big love for how he's doing, and everybody else who's, you know, sharing and stuff. And keep it coming, guys. Honestly, especially from you. You got corrupted last time for when we were saying it, but the people that work with me in what I call the Nut House, a lot of you have reached out. Thank you very much, because not a lot of us haven't spoken for many years since I've left the job and that, but it's nice to have you all listening in and giving me and Charlie the support that we want for this. So shout out to you. Drop me some messages. Let's have a conversation. Let's get involved. Be nice to catch up with a lot of you and everyone else who's there for us. I know for Charlie's side as well, haven't we, that, you know, you've got a lot of people reaching out and complimenting us on the podcast and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah. Look, my mum and dad have even listened to it, mate. So
yeah, that's it.
So keep your fucking swearing out of this.
I'll wash your mouth out with soap.
No, but they've listened to it. Look, shout out mum and dad. I'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, we're definitely organising a big meetup at some point.
Yeah, 100%. But look, no, just to echo what Brad said, thank you to everybody, you know, on Brad's side that's supported us, shared all the stories, comments, likes. As I said again, it means a hell of a lot.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Keep it up, guys. We love it. We're going to keep putting it out there and the clips and everything else. So thank you for the support. Give us the engagement and we'll keep using that in our episodes. So thank you again all for listening. Please share it amongst, get it out there for us, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you, everybody. I've been Brad.
And I've been Charlie. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Cheers, guys.
So wild ride, no script, no map. Off the cuff, and we're cool with that. One good laugh, one deep thought. Buckle up, ready or not. This is the unplanned hour. We talk, we riff, we wander, we power through stories, dreams, and late night schemes. It's real life, unscripted scenes. No rules, no lines, just vibes and time. Anything can happen, it's all by design. 1 hour, no plan, all heart